Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters guests. When I thought about what I was going to talk about tonight to introduce everybody to me, which the competent communicator says is an easy topic, but clearly not that easy, because there's so much to talk about into who I am. But I thought I would tell you a story that happened to me recently that involves most of my life that was a very special moment that I had. I grew up with a single mom and an only child, and always wanted to have a father in my life, and I never did. When I was about 9 years old, the phone rang, and I picked up the phone, and there's a voice on the other end that said, "I'm your dad." And I thought as a 9-year-old, that was fantastic. It was very exciting. We talked for a while, and he wanted to come out to visit me, so he flew out from Georgia to visit me, and I couldn't stand him. He stayed at my house for 10 days, and I asked my mom every day, "When is this guy leaving?" I couldn't stand him. My mom told me every day, "He's your father, he loves you, get to know him and know who he is." I couldn't stand him. We communicated very infrequently until I was about 13, and that was the last time I ever talked to him on the phone. But in our communications, I knew that I had 2 older brothers, and growing up an only child, I always wanted to know who they were. And at 13, I lost contact with my father and thought that was it. Nothing would ever come of it. What was important to me in having a family of my own as I got older was that my daughter was always going to know who her father was, always going to be around. I became a mom, I became a martial artist, I became a belly dancer, I became a veterinary technician, and after the birth of my daughter, I decided that I was going to work in an emergency clinic as a veterinary technician. And I had this ritual every night. I would go to work, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 9 o'clock every evening when I had my lunch, weird time for lunch, but sometimes it wasn't until midnight. I would go in the break room and I would go on Facebook, because I'm an avid Facebooker, and check and see, as my husband says, what my high school friends that I didn't really know in high school and don't really know now had for lunch. He always asked me, "Oh, what did so-and-so have for lunch today?" "Thanks, honey." But I went in the break room, and on this one particular night about 4 years ago, and I signed on, and there was a message. And I opened the message. And the message was from David Stewart, "Is your mom's name Jerry?" And I thought, wow, that's my dad. That's my father that I lost contact with 20 years ago. So of course I said yes, and the messages went back and forth. "Well, I think I'm your father." And I sent a message back, "Well, I know you're my father." Well, because of that, I got another message on Facebook from my older brother, and we started talking. And then I got another message from 13 aunts and uncles that I didn't know I had that are all on Facebook. And then I got this really cool message from my sister-in-law, who was married to my older but younger of the 2 brothers. And she said, "We've been looking for you for 15 years. Didn't know how to find you, didn't know where you were, but we've been looking for you for 15 years. My brother joined Facebook so that he could get in contact with me. And we talked on Facebook back and forth. They have 4 kids, so suddenly I was an aunt and was going to be a great aunt because my niece was pregnant. And then this thing happened. My brother and I kind of started joking back and forth with each other, and I sent him a message on Facebook. Barbecue, our house, Memorial Day. Well, he lived in Wyoming. We had never met. An hour later, I got a message back that said, "I hope you weren't joking. I just bought my tickets." And 2 years ago yesterday, I met my brother for the first time. And we talk every day on the phone since that day. So one of the coolest things that's happened to me in my life that's brought me to where I am is I can now say that I'm a baby sister and I met my brother for the first time. Thank you very much.